When creating a mashup, it's easy to make your two songs not sound connected and more just like two songs kind of pushed near each other. So to really interlock those songs and make it sound as one, you're definitely going to want to add the Hi, I'm Mark from Modern Music University, and in this channel I give music production tips, lessons, and tutorials. So in this video, I want to talk about how to create a mashup. So a mashup is when you take two songs and you put them on top of each other, and now those two songs become one. Now you can make a really simple mashup by just having one song play, do some kind of transition, and then into the next song. You can make it a little more complicated if you want to have the music from one and then the lyrics from the other on top of that song. Or you can just go full-blown insane and have multiple songs weaving in and out of each other, creating one massive mashup. Mashups have been around for decades, so please let me know what is your favorite mashup and leave it in the comments. To make a great mashup, there are 5 things that you need to consider when putting songs together: chord progression, tempo, key, meter, X factor. Stick around to the end to find out the secret trick to making your mashups sound more connected. Chord progression is the series of chords played throughout the entire song. Some songs only use 4 chords, while others will use many more. Some songs will even mix up the order of the progression depending on what part of the song you're in, such as the verse and chorus. If this is your first mashup, I highly suggest you find a song that has the same progression throughout the entire song. Tempo is how fast the song is going. In most cases, we decide how fast the song is by using BPM, or beats per minute. Now this can be a little tricky because many older songs didn't use quantizing tools, and so the tempo can fluctuate throughout the entire song. That means if you were to put the song into your computer and add a click track to it, at some point in the song it might deviate from the click track itself. So I would definitely consider a song that has a solid defined tempo and something that can easily be snapped to a grid. Good news is that most of the time we're able to alter the speed of certain parts of the song, but you can only do that to a certain extent. Key is very similar to chord progression, however it's telling you exactly what chords and pitches that you are using in the song. So if you're using a chord progression like 1, 5, 6, 4 in the key of C, then the chords that you're using is C, G, A minor, and F. But if you have that same progression in the key of D, then the chords are now D, A, B minor, G. This is important because some chords don't go well with each other. So even if you have 2 songs that had the same progression but were recorded in 2 different keys, you could have a mashup that really rubs in a very not so pleasant way. Luckily, a lot of DAWs out there allow you to alter the key and pitches of your song. However, just be careful because if you alter it too much, you're going to have some artifacts in it. To make things simple, let's just say that all songs are grouped in either patterns of 2 or 3. Many pop songs that we hear on the radio are usually grouped in 2 with a pattern of low-high, where it sounds like bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare. Other songs can be grouped in 3s, usually with a pattern of bass, snare, snare, or low, high, high, low, high, high, low, high, high, low, high, high. The X factor is a little bit harder to explain. Since we're putting 2 songs together that weren't designed to go together, we have to really listen and see, can these 2 songs make a good partnership? We really have to listen to the style, the structure, and, well, would these songs sound good together? Just because 2 songs have the same chord progression, they're in the same key, and if you're lucky they have the same tempo, doesn't mean that they would still sound good together. Really listen to each song and see, is this a good partnership to put these 2 songs together? Listen to these 2 songs. They have the same chord progression, however, you can easily tell right away that they would not make a good partnership. Like I said, even though these 2 songs share the same chord progression, they really wouldn't go well together. Or, well, maybe it would take a lot of work to get these songs to sound well together, when I can easily find better matching songs. So let's dive into the computer here and check out the 2 mashups that I made. I made an easy one and a little bit more complicated one. That way you can pick and choose the level of difficulty that you want to try out. Alright, so the first mashup that I made was I took Taylor Swift's Bad Blood and the words to Lose Yourself by Eminem. If you listen to the Bad Blood recording, this is just the music for it. No words, just the music for it. And here I have the Eminem, just him rapping and no music in the background.
Ready to drop bombs, but he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud, he opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking how? Everybody's joking now. The clock's run out. Time's up. Over. Plow. Snap.
So before we can even begin to think about mashing these two songs together, we have to do some prep work first. First thing I want to do is I want to set the tempo marking into my DAW. That way I can have all of my music lined up to a grid. Since I'm using the music for Bad Blood, I'm going to go ahead and set the tempo marking to 85 because that's what Bad Blood was recorded at. The only problem is Lose Yourself was recorded at a tempo of 87, so not exactly the same as Bad Blood, but I'll show you how to adjust that in a few seconds. Next thing I need to do is I need to make sure that both songs are in the same key. That way when they play on top of each other, it's going to sound good. Bad Blood was recorded in E minor, Lose Yourself was recorded in D minor. So instead of just changing one song completely, I'm actually going to change both songs. I'm going to kind of take from a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and right click on Bad Blood, go to auto stretch, and I'm going to lower Bad Blood 1 semitone, and I'm going to raise Lose Yourself 1 semitone. So I'm kind of taking a little bit from both ends so neither song sounds altered too much.
The whole crowd goes so loud, he opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking how? Everybody's choking now. The clock's run out. Time's up. Over. Plow. Snap back to reality.
And as you could tell, it sounded pretty good in the beginning, but after a while, the Lose Yourself started getting faster and faster. Well, maybe not faster and faster, but it started getting ahead of the beat. Again, Lose Yourself was recorded 2 beats per minute faster than Bad Blood, so they're not lining up exactly. So let me show you the trick to get around that. So what I did was I kept Bad Blood exactly the same. I didn't really change too much. There's one part where I kind of cut out a little bit, which you'll hear in a second. But you can see in the Lose Yourself lyrics, what I ended up doing is I copied the track so it has the exact same effects to it, and I played as much as I could of the lyrics, and then I found a nice kind of pause moment, and then that's when I was able to cut the lyrics a tiny bit and make those micro adjustments to kind of line it back up into the beat. If I really dive closer into the lyrics, you'll see there's a very small gap in between these two repeated sections. This little tiny gap allows me to shift the words of Lose Yourself over and reline it up to the beat of the song. So if I go ahead and just rewind a tiny bit of it, you'll see that it kind of resets itself.
But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud, he opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking how? Everybody's choking now. The clock's run out. Time's over. Plow. Snap back to reality.
And as you can see, I had to do the same thing over here. It's these micro adjustments that allow the song to kind of reset itself into the beat. As the words start kind of moving faster and getting off the beat, I'm able to find a nice point to chop and then make that micro adjustment to line it back up into the beat.
He's so mad, but he won't give up. That is, he know he won't have. It don't matter, he's dope. He knows that, but he's pro. You better lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better. This soul's escaping through this hole that is gaping. This world is mine for the taking. Make me king.
If your songs don't exactly fall into the same tempo, there are ways around it. So this would be the easy way of doing a mashup song, just using the music from one song and then the words to another. I find that rap songs are really easy because they're not really singing, they're more just spoken word, so you can really kind of pick and choose almost any song to go over a rap song. But if you had a singing part to it, just make sure that the chord progression and the melody line fits with the song. Let's go check out another mashup that I did. This one is a little bit more complicated, but I think you're going to see the added bonuses for it. Alright, so let's dive into this song. Like I said, this one's a little bit more complicated, but I think there's some good ideas that you can easily take from and use. So if you look at the bottom portion, the yellow line here, this is the the music for the Sky Full of Stars. This is only the music, and this is what I used to set the grid at 125. So if I was to turn on the metronome, it would all line up with the metronome, and that way this entire ruler is all matched to the grid, so I can easily line up everything using the number system here. The other yellow line, this is just the vocal portion of Chris Martin singing here, and I lined up his words to match with the song. So if I add the music to it, sounds like the actual song. So for the blue tracks, the top line is just the vocal part.
Yellow diamonds in the light, and we're standing side by side.
And you can see if I zoom in, I had to kind of chop up and fine tune the lyrics to it because, again, this song was recorded at 128, a little bit faster than the Coldplay song, so I had to keep chopping up after every single verse or sentence, and kind of reset for it to reline up to the song. So I just kind of basically did it on every single sentence.
Yellow diamonds in the light,
Chopped it, readjusted, next sentence.
and we're standing side by side.
Chopped it, realigned it, next sentence.
As a shadow crosses mine, what it takes to come alive.
And to make that sound a little bit smoother, I added some automation to it. That way, nothing seemed really choppy to it. The end of each phrase would kind of fade away and then come back up to the beginning, so nothing sounded very cut off. Let's hear what that sounds like with the actual music.
Yellow diamonds in the light, and we're standing side by side. As a shadow crosses mine, what it takes to come alive.
And again, I'm just adjusting the vocal part to match up with the music. Now in this next section here, I wanted to add a little bit of Coldplay's vocal part. So as you can see, I'm going to have him sing. But in Rihanna's music, or We Found Love music, I wanted to add a little bit of her music to it. And so the only part of her song that is actually in it is that beginning motif part. This is the only part of the song that I wanted to keep in this mashup. And if I really zoom in, what I had to do is I had to find just one phrase of it and then kind of keep on repeating it. I didn't want to just have one phrase and then just hit the repeat sign like this. I really wanted to have as much control as I could to make sure that everything would line up with the beat. Again, this was recorded a little bit faster, so I didn't want it to get off and then just continue to repeat to get off. I wanted to reset each time on the beat. So let's check out what it sounds like with that section. And as the Coldplay song's about to drop the beat, I bring Rihanna's voice back. Music stays the same, nothing's changed. I wanted to bring Chris's voice back, so here it is. So what I'm doing is I'm weaving in and out of both vocal parts. So instead of just having music from one and the words with the other, each song has its own part being played. This is the great part. This is where I want to have both vocals sing at the same time. So check this part out.
In a sky full of stars, I think I see you. I think I see you.
And again, as the beat's about to drop, I bring Rihanna's music back. Again, there it is right there. Nice and quiet, but you can definitely hear it's definitely there, and you can definitely hear it. Alright, secret trick here. If you really want your song to feel interlocked and connected, I highly suggest you add a separate drum beat throughout the entire song. Get some kind of sound that is playing through that from start to end, and that will be the thread that it gets woven in between these two songs. That's going to make your mashup song really feel connected. So you can do this by adding a drum machine or simply just going into a loop factor and finding something. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the drum loop, and I'm going to go ahead and just stretch this out through the entire time here. And let's create a drum pattern that's going to be the basis for the entire song. That drum beat is really the key factor. It's really bringing both songs in together. And if I want, I can even add another drum pattern to it and maybe just get a little more extra bass to it, you know? And that right there, having that one sound that is continuous throughout the entire song, is going to be the thread that gets woven in between both of these songs. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more, consider subscribing and to ring the bell notification, and that'll let you know when a new video is released. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Now go make some music.